Hey, everybody. I'm Mark Collier, the COO with the Open Infra Foundation. And I'm very excited to be here for this NHN Forward event. Congratulations on another successful event here. The small steps, big difference is a great theme. And I think that if you look at the Open Infra Foundation, I can teach you a little bit more about it, a little background. But we have a massive global community. We're talking about over 110,000 people in over 180 countries, 700 plus organizations. And so as a foundation, our job is to build communities who write software that runs in production. And so we're very excited that NHN is a part of this community, a part of this foundation. And in fact, if you look at the momentum when it comes to software that our communities have built that's running in production, OpenStack stands very tall in that regard. You know, we've seen over 66% growth in just 1 year from 15 million cores of compute in production to over 25 million cores. And so today, OpenStack is one of the top 3 or 4 largest, most active open source projects in the world, not just within infrastructure, but of all open source projects. So you see things like Linux, OpenStack, Kubernetes for infrastructure. You put that together, you get this Loki standard, and 3 of those projects are part of the 4 most active open source projects in the world for any forms of software. And if you look at public clouds, we now have over 175. I think we may even be over 180 now. Data centers powered by OpenStack for public cloud. And so that is really driven by our philosophy of the 4 opens. This is open source, open design, open community, and open development. And this means that it's not just the source code that's open, but every aspect of it. Anyone in the community can become a leader. Anyone can contribute code, can help determine the roadmap. And we actually talk about the design of the software before any code is even written. That's radical open, and that's how our community does it. And today, as the Open Infra Foundation, we are the home of open infrastructure. So OpenStack is, of course, the key technology that we started with, but we now have many other projects that complement OpenStack, including Airship, Kata, Open Infra Labs, Starling X, and Zool. And we also bring together the community in person and online through events like Open Infra Live, our weekly show, Open Dev, PTG, and coming soon, the Open Infrastructure Summit, which will be coming back in person next year in Berlin. Now, when we look at all of the companies that support the Open Infra Foundation, since we started, we have seen incredible growth. 25% more companies are now members than even at the beginning of this year. So that's a great start for a new foundation. We started as OpenStack Foundation. This year, we became the Open Infrastructure Foundation, the home of open infrastructure. And many, many companies have joined. One of those companies is, of course, NHN Cloud, who is one of the newest silver members. And so we want to welcome NHN Cloud as a silver member of the Open Infra Foundation. And so with all of that support, we've seen so much improvements and traction and collaboration and participation around the OpenStack Korea user group, as well as Open Infra Days Korea. So each of these events and these local groups really happen with support of companies like NHN, and also providing cloud resources for these regional events. So not just organizing events, but actually providing real cloud infrastructure that the community can use. And lastly, I want to just invite all of you to come to Berlin. So in June of 2022, we will be back together in person for another Open Infra Summit, this time in Berlin, in Germany. And that will be a wonderful opportunity to get to see all of you in person. And so with that, I just hope that you all have a good time with Open Infra at this event.